Hello guys, for today's video we will talk about the oblique projection. So what is an oblique projection? So oblique drawing is another type of pictorial or 3D representation. So it differs from isometric as one face, so usually representing the width and the height. So it is parallel to the picture plane, and the depth is shown receding at the angle most commonly used, which is the 45 degrees. So but you can use also the 30 and 60 degree angle, or any other angle. So that will best show the components feature to the best advantage they be used. So in oblique projection, there are advantages and disadvantages. So advantages in an oblique projection. So first, it allows drawing of a regular face to true dimension. Second, shapes such as circles, arcs, and other irregularities are true shapes. So access can be varied to look at different features of the object. Also, advantages in an oblique drawing. So features of front face can be formally dimensioned if required. So the advantages of oblique projection, so there are two. So first, the object can appear out of proportion depending on oblique type used. So there are two types of oblique projection, so we will discuss later. So the second disadvantages is the depth measurement will be half depending on the oblique type used also. Okay, let's proceed. So the difference between the oblique projection and the isometric projection. So here is the table. Okay, so in oblique projection, so projectors from an object are parallel to each other and inclined to the plane of projection. Second, the object is placed in such a way that one of each prominent faces remains parallel to the plane of projection. The object rests on one of its faces. Okay, third, so the object is drawn with the actual dimension in an oblique projection. So the faces of the object which are perpendicular to the plane of projection, so will be distorted in the shape and also the size. So fifth, the choice of position of the object depends upon the shape and the size. In isometric projection, in drawing an object, so projectors from an object are parallel to each other and perpendicular to the plane of picture. So second, So when you draw an isometric projection, the object is kept in such a way that each three mutual perpendicular edges make equal angles with the plane of projection. So the angle is 30 degrees, making an isometric projection. So the object stands on one of its corners. So third, the object is drawn with a reduced about 82% dimensions. So fourth, in isometric projection, all the faces of the object are distorted in the shape and also its size. So last, the choice of position of the object depends upon the shape and the size. So to know more about oblique projection, so here is another sample. Here is our sample drawing. So this one is an orthographic drawing. So we will get the oblique drawing. So the dimension of this sample drawing is 4 meter by 4 meter. So let's start. So we will use the 45-degree triangle. So we will move this 30 by 60 triangle. So first, I will create a plane. So this one is our plane. So the dimension is 4 meter by 4 meter. Okay. So this one is the front view. So in oblique drawing, so the front view or the front surface of the object is parallel to the plane. So we will use the 45-degree triangle. So we'll create a construction line. For example, this one. And also move the triangle. So create line or construction line. Okay. So next, so we will put another line here. So 4 meter. So 4 meter. Okay. So let's project the 4 meter. Check. Okay, this one. So, okay, project. So, we will trace. So, we will complete the object. So, we will trace the actual object. So I will use a different color, another color. This one. So delete the line. So this area is the front view. So as I said, so the front surface is always parallel to the plane. So let's continue. Easy determine, so I will put a color of each view. Okay, so this is our final actual object in oblique projection. So next, so we'll make also an isometric to see what is the difference between the two projection. So we will put a label. So this one is an oblique drawing. So next, so we will proceed to the isometric. So in isometric drawing, so we will use this line. So we create a line. So this line is perpendicular to the plane. So in making an isometric drawing, so we will use the 30-degree triangle or 30 by 60 triangle. So first we will create the construction line, and also this to the right side. So the dimension is 4 meter. So 4 meter. And then create an construction line. So both sides. So next is we'll create another line. So the dimension is 4 meter. Okay, this one. And also the right side. Okay. So we'll move our triangle here. So straight line. Okay. So for there. And then connect. So move the triangle and also create here another instruction. And also this quarter. So move your triangle. Okay. So after that, so we will complete the overall object. So we'll trace the then also we'll put a color. So this area is the front view. And also this area is the right side view. Okay, so last one is the top view. So we'll delete the construction like that. So next we'll put the dimension of the angle. So the dimension is 30 degree angle. And also this part, the dimension is 120 degree angle. So both are equal. So this one is the isometric. So let's go back to the oblique drawing. So oblique drawing is parallel. So the front area is parallel to the plane. So this one is the front area. So parallel to the plane. So in isometric drawing, so this area is perpendicular to the plane. So with an angle of 30 degree both sides. So both sides are equal. So that's the difference between oblique and isometric drawing. So next, we'll proceed to the receding lines and receding angles. So in oblique projection, so the faces of the object which are perpendicular to the plane of projection are projected in the distorted shapes. So the perpendicular edges of such planes are drawn at an angle of 30 degree, 45 or the 60 degree angle. So with the horizontal. So these inclined lines are known as the receding lines, and their inclinations to the horizontal line or to the horizontal is known as receding angles. So the appearance of distortion of an object can be improved by shortening the length of the receding lines. So the receding lines may be inclined either upwards or downwards, or to the left or to the right, depending upon the necessity to show the details of an object. So next, so here is the example of object with the receding lines. So from left side to also the right side, and upwards and downwards. So this part, so first is receding lines from upwards, this one, in the location is in the left side. Also this second example, so the receding lines are in upwards but in the right side. Also this sample, so this sample is the receding lines were going downwards, but the location is in the left side. So this also, the last example is in downwards, but the receding lines also in the right side. So there are two types of an oblique projection. So first, so the oblique projection is based on scales by which receding lines are drawn. So first type is the Cavalier projection. So it means when the receding lines are drawn to full size scale and the projectors incline at an angle of 30 or 45 and 60 degree, so to the plane of projection. So second type is the cabinet projection. So cabinet projection, if the receding lines are drawn to half size scale, so such oblique projection is known as the cabinet projection. So it's drawn in a half scale. So look at the example. So first sample is the Cavalier projection. So with a full size scale dimension. So and also the front surface is parallel to the plane of projection. So this one is the Cavalier projection. So second type example. So example of the cabinet projection is one. So the size is half size scale. So and also its front surface is parallel to the front of to the plane of projection. So it's easy to determine the two types of projection. Okay, so in oblique projection, so there are rules. So first rule, so draw the object with the irregular face parallel to the picture plane. So draw the object so that the longest dimension, so take note, the longest dimension is parallel to the picture frame or picture plane. So the longest dimension is parallel to the picture plane. So rule number 3, so in cases so where these two rules conflict, so rule number 1 will overrides rule number 2. So this allows to the irregular face to be seen undistorted. Here is the example. So the preferred drawing in oblique projection. So this one is preferred. So the longest, so rule number 2, the longest dimension is parallel to the plane. So this one is the longest, so the face or the front face is parallel. So this one is an example of not preferred. Okay, so let's proceed in steps for drawing an oblique projection. So we have a problem here. So this object is a ball. So first, so in drawing an oblique projection, so first thing we do, so first thing you will do is mark the point O and draw OX and OY mutually perpendicular axis. So draw receding axis OZ at an angle of 30 degree with the axis of OX horizontal. So here is the step number 1. So we'll put a label to okay, so mark the point O. Okay, so here is the point O and X is in the right side, and then Z with the angle of OZ 30 degree angle, and then OY is perpendicular to the plane. So next, construct a box by marking distances of 90 mm, 40 mm, and 50 mm along the axis OX, OY, and OZ. So in OX, the dimension is 90 mm. This one, 90 mm. So from O to Z is 50 mm. Okay, 50 mm. So to OY, the dimension is 40 mm. So step number 3. So mark a center C, semicircle along the axis OX at a distance of 65 mm from the point O. So we'll create a center point for the semicircle. So from O, so we'll create a point C. Okay, so point C. So the radius is 15 for the semicircle. Okay, with a distance of 65 mm from O to point C. From O to point C, the dimension is 65 mm. So, mark a distance of 50 mm on the line parallel to OX. Okay, OX parallel to OX. And then this one from OX. So from X, so we'll create 50. Okay, and draw an angle of 30 degree. So this one in the top view. So from there, so with a angle 30 degree. Then if you complete the oblique view, so trace or complete the oblique view. Okay, so step number 4. So mark a center C. Okay, so this one is the complete drawing, the actual object. Okay, so that's all for today. So for your comments or for your questions, you can comment down below. So for your questions, you can comment down below, and so don't forget to subscribe my channel and click the notification bell for more updates. So that's all for today, and goodbye.